Episode 12, for real this time. We've got Q, our guest today. He's grappled on 4 continents, and he's got a diverse perspective.
Yes. Q talks about the history of the Saigon grappling community as he's been here since the beginning and reveals the key players who've shaped it into what it is today. Welcome to the Saigon Saga, where we cover combat sports in Vietnam and have fun while doing it. You have that Brazilian strength and technique and that Korean pressure.
I think you got the special tap that only the Brazilians know about.
No. That's right.
That's it. That's it about Brazilian things or whatever.
Did you do judo? Because I know you've got some crazy grips.
Oh, no. Just jiu-jitsu. And the only thing other than jiu-jitsu that I did, as sports growing up was American football. So I think, that had some contribution to jiu-jitsu. But I think if there's a form of something that I've done, when I was young that really kind of helps me till this day in jiu-jitsu, I think it would be probably b-boying. When I started out in middle school and throughout high school, the strength that I built, I think, really comes from b-boying. And I think like a lot of the similar movements and hip movements and things like that, I think they kind of correlate. And so I think, it's building that strength from b-boying and then taking that to American football and then to now jiu-jitsu. Obviously with age and everything, you can't put your body through that anymore. So, I think it was a natural transition where you kind of keep that aggression in a sense, but also at the same time, that aggressive aspect of the sport, but also at the same time, you're using that brain of yours, which is the most fascinating part about jiu-jitsu. And that's what, drew me to American football was that, every play you had to think of a new play, a new plan to get to where you needed to go. And I think jiu-jitsu kind of offers that same aspect in terms of the mental part of it.
Which position did you play in football?
So I played wide receiver, tight end on offense, and then I played linebacker and safety on defense. But if I had to choose one position that obviously I feel natural and I love is the safety position. In defense. So I just love tackling. I just love just going after the ball and just love it. And when I was young, I used to be super aggressive.
Really?
Before football matches, I would just be in a different zone and different mindset, and I'll just be like,
yes.
And then now you see me with kids, and obviously with age and everything. Now it's just like all that aggression is gone.
A very soft side.
Yeah. You have a kid, and that just takes all the energy from you, I guess.
And especially a daughter. When you have a daughter, it's like because when you have a son, obviously you can be a little bit hard on your son and things like that. And I was in the beginning, but obviously I've kind of loosened up. But when you have a daughter, it softens you up so much. You just completely become a different person. And some days I miss that aggression, but obviously love the person that I'm becoming and became obviously through kids.
Zach, did you ever play football?
Well, I did play football.
But they didn't let you play ball sports.
No, listen, this is what happened. So I played football. My uncle was the coach, right? And the requirement was coaches have to put you in for 2 minutes. I was in elementary school, and he only put me in for 2 minutes.
Zero nepotism.
I really had just any sport involving a ball, I was just never good at.
I see.
Football, baseball was my best sport before wrestling, and I tried so hard to make all-stars. All-stars?
Yeah.
Everyone makes all-stars except for me. I tried so hard, never made all-stars. But basketball, same thing. But wrestling was the first thing that I was like, okay, the coach, it's not up to the coach. Or the coach that says, whoever wins your weight class. So for me, individual sports have always been easier. But you're good at both.
No. I mean, that's the big adjustment that I had to make was I always came from a team sport sort of world. And to come into an individual sport like jiu-jitsu, obviously at first it was hard because I always had people around me kind of doing the same things that I did. And then with jiu-jitsu, it's completely up to you and your motivation to train and get better. So for me, I kind of struggled with that in the beginning. But now with obviously the people and the friends that we have in Vietnam, it obviously makes it so much easier and so much more fun. You feel like even though it's an individual sport, you feel like you're doing it together. So I think that's a great thing about it.
Yeah. So how did you originally get into grappling and jiu-jitsu?
My first motivation, I'll be very honest, just because I was born in Brazil and, I saw this, thing that my friend was doing, back in 2013, that was called Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. And just because it was called Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, that was my first interest in terms of the sport itself. Like, what is this? Like, can I try this out? Because, of my Brazilian roots in a sense, right? And then, obviously, I couldn't kind of keep up the consistency, so I kind of went in and out like the next 4 years. But in 2017 was when I really kind of dove into it like seriously, and seriously meaning like I really wanted to learn the sports and learn the techniques. And my main motivation for that was obviously with my son being born in 2016. I wanted to be the one to be able to coach up my son. Obviously, he's going to go to school and he's going to learn from people that are better than me. But, I just wanted to be that sort of asset to him where, he can come back from the gym and if he has questions, I can always answer that question for him in terms of, having him learn self-defense, protecting himself and, even fighting if he needed to. In worst case scenarios. And, that was my motivation in terms of being able to kind of relay that message down to my kids.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's so important for kids to do rough things.
Yeah.
I encourage Zach. In case he has any questions at the end of the day, he can call me. I'll tell him everything will be okay.
I have a great story around this. And it's like, everybody should put their kids into jiu-jitsu. Just because, you think in this world, obviously now kids don't get into conflicts and things like that. But, there's plenty of instances in normal circumstances where, my son has been involved in a situation where, another kid is swinging at him and things like that and kind of being overly aggressive. And, like, obviously we don't teach them the street lessons in terms of how to kind of handle those situations. But he himself knew how to keep his distance, make sure, he doesn't escalate the issue, but he kind of de-escalates it by keeping that distance, making sure that he doesn't come any closer. And then at one point when they did make contact, physical contact, all my son did was, do an ankle pick takedown. And, just by that takedown, it was something that he never felt. So, the situation never escalated from there. So I think just to kind of diffuse all the situations, I think you should definitely put your kids in jiu-jitsu.
That's fantastic. Did you growing up, did you get in a fight? Did people try to start fights with you at school?
I think I was pretty lucky because, I was kind of tall for as an Asian kid, obviously growing up. So I think really, sort of bothered me in that sense. But yes, I've had, several, run-ins obviously here and there, growing up, but nothing too crazy, just something that was just, something small.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think it's important, just like you said, for kids to grow up jiu-jitsu or something like that, because when you're a kid and maybe you're in 6th grade and the first time some kid pushes you or tries to start a fight, these emotions come over you,
right?
And those emotions are extremely hard to manage,
for sure.
And I experienced that personally growing up. But just getting in the room, having your son just roll around, how many rolls they do per week, 10 15 rolls per week. That's why he was able to manage that situation so well.
Right.
It's such a young age.
Did you see this video of this recently? This guy a drunk guy attacks a black belt, and man, the guy took his arm home with him. He did not use the same amount of control. Did you see this?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
Man, I don't. It's like a piece of wet spaghetti, dude. It's disgusting.
Oh, I see.
It's like takedown, gets the armbar, breaks it one way, breaks it another way, and it's not.
I think I know what you mean. It's an Asian dude that did it. I think, right?
Maybe a different one. This one is quite recent.
Oh, I see.
Man, yeah, it makes you rethink. Yikes! Like, there's no need for that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a little maybe a little closer to the mic just because you're saying such valuable things. Q, and I want the community to be able to see it here.
Okay.
Well, if he speaks in value and you keep talking, we'll be net zero.
I'll scoot a little closer.
Yeah, I know. Okay. Hey, thank you. Yeah. So, Yeah, that's fantastic. So tell us a little bit about the Saigon community. When were you first introduced to it? What was your first impression?
Yeah, so I came here about 5 years ago, and at that time, there were only about maybe 3 gyms out in Saigon. So obviously, it was in super infant stages in terms of the whole jiu-jitsu scene here. But I love it. I love just being part of the community here and just kind of seeing all the changes that we went through pre-pandemic and also post-pandemic as well. I think obviously the Nogi scene is obviously blowing up in Vietnam, which is obviously great, just because of my personal preference. So obviously that's great. And I think if I had to pinpoint to one thing, and if I had to kind of explain the whole jiu-jitsu scene out here into one word, I think it would be openness.
Okay.
And I think the openness between different gyms, collaborating with one another. I think the openness of the locals and the expats, coming together and training together, but not only that, spending time outside of the gym as well. The openness in terms of, when somebody is visiting Vietnam and they're doing jiu-jitsu at one of the gyms here, we're trying to get their contacts, we're trying to get to know them, we're trying to, obviously stay in touch. So I think that openness of Saigon Jiu Jitsu, I think it, has been fascinating and it's been great to see.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I agree. I've only been here 1 year
Right.
to see it. You've seen a huge transition, evolution.
Yeah, but I think we're going back. Gi is building momentum. I saw you in one the other day. Everything's changing now.
Let's not go there.
I think it's important. I think it's important to do something uncomfortable. Honestly think that it's hard. For me, Gi is harder, But I don't know, what do you think, Adam?
I trained in the gi before. I've tried it, yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoy one more than the other. Do you ever see me in the gi?
I don't see anyone in the gi except only good.
Here's your answer.
Just
That and
strictly
the
no gi
weather's too hot.
gyms.
Yeah.
When you first got here, did you see the jiu-jitsu scene moving? Like, did you think it was going to go as no-gi heavy as it is now?
No, not at all. Just because, when I first came here pre-pandemic, it was mostly gi jiu-jitsu here. And like I said, there were only a handful of gyms out here. Now I think there's about maybe 15 or more just in Saigon alone. So it's obviously grown exponentially. And would have never thought that no-gi would transition the way it has. But I think just everything makes sense the way it happened. Just in terms of, obviously, gi wasn't as accessible to the general public at that time. Obviously, with the heat out here in Vietnam as well, I think that kind of plays a part in it. And I think just the ease of just being able to carry it around and just, easy to wash and things like that. I think that compactness, I think, just kind of helped develop the game here. And, just super grateful to be part of it now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Who are some of the notable people behind the growth of no-gi over the last 5 years, do you think?
In terms of who?
Who are some key influences behind the growth of no-gi grappling, coaches?
I'll just kind of explain just everything just in like the general sense of jiu-jitsu. And I think, obviously there's the current guys here, currently training here. They're obviously the ones that's making it happen on a day-to-day basis. But obviously I think it's also good to kind of take it back a step and just kind of appreciate the foundation. And, guys like, legends like Steve Chipman, who ran SJJ, Saigon Jiu Jitsu. He was one of the 3 gyms that were out here. And he fought so hard for the program to be alive in Vietnam when so many people were opposed against it. So obviously want to give the credit to him for keeping jiu-jitsu alive. And then under SJJ, you had like 3 main coaches, I think, that still plays a big part of jiu-jitsu here till this day. One is Zoom Pham up in Hanoi. And, he's doing this thing now with his gym. You have Cory at Over Under, who's obviously played a huge part in Nogi Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, for sure.
So probably, Cory is the biggest kind of figure in terms of the Nogi scene growing. And then you have Matt Fujeiki, who obviously keeps gi alive in Vietnam. And obviously I have appreciation towards that as well.
Course.
He's coaching at Gisdio. And, just the class that they have, as human beings, and also being able to keep jiu-jitsu alive all throughout these years and still be active till this day. obviously want to give big credits to them. But also at the same time, sorry for taking this a little bit longer, but also want to shout out Vince, Paul,
Vince.
and Alex Jung as kind of like the pillars in terms of, kind of keeping everything stable. And, Vince has taught me 90% of the things that I know. So he's obviously played a big part in Nogi.
Yes.
Paul as well, the amount of people that he's coached in Vietnam, I mean, it's endless. And a lot of the high levels now have been coached through Paul. And then Alex Jung, obviously running Team Shark here.
Yes.
And just being able to bring up the kids in Saigon and be able to spread the sport of jiu-jitsu, through the kids. I think that's been amazing to see.
Yeah. Just speaking of Vince, I think it's impossible to get a roll in with Vince and not learn something.
Right.
Every time I roll with Vince, he's just so dense with knowledge.
Right.
And so just thankful that we have him here.
Yeah.
In the community.
For sure.
Yeah, you can tell he spent a lot of time with Cory. For sure.
That's true.
It's so amazing to be around Cory and Vince when they're working through things.
Right.
They're literally innovating new grappling techniques in Vietnam.
Exactly.
Like, what if I try this? What if I do this? Oh, let's try this. And I haven't really seen that much.
Right.
Over the last 4 years doing jiu-jitsu in a way that they do that. The conversations that they have. So
and I think that's a great part about jiu-jitsu is that, like smart people are the ones that are best at the sport. Like you don't necessarily always have to be super athletic. But if you have that problem-solving mindset and you love that aspect of it, I think it's, I think those people can obviously be very effective in jiu-jitsu as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Evolve your game. Become a guard player.
I mean, I can't play guard. I can't play guard.
Hey, good point.
But I have well-rounded.
But I have like open guard can do that, but closed guard I guess is my weakest.
Maybe I'll have a chance of beating him if that is the case.
My two least favorite things are being in the closed guard and playing closed guard. So I try to avoid both of those. Man, Simon put me in his closed guard yesterday. I was like, dude, it's Sunday. What are you doing?
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
Stop
he does
that. No, I wasn't about it.
He does that. Yeah.
Way too much.
Simon is really good with that closed guard.
Yeah, Simon is good, man. I'm excited. He's going to compete soon.
Oh, the national championships are coming.
Do you know anything about the national championship?
Nah, not too much.
So you know what we know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I think, for base one, I know it's just, there's no belts. It's just weights. And only Vietnamese
Oh, wow.
can go.
So it's like ADCC Vietnam in a sense.
That's right. Yeah, it's like ADCC.
Nice.
And it's in Can Tho. Is how you pronounce it, I think.
Yeah.
Canto? Yeah. It's amazing, though, because you just get, like, in each weight class, there's going to be one champion. It doesn't matter. No
I
questions.
see.
It's like, this is the guy at that weight.
Wow.
Or the woman. It could be a woman.
Nice. It would have been good if they opened it up to foreigners as well, maybe one day.
Yeah. Would you compete?
Huh?
Would you compete, though?
Me? No,
Yeah.
man, that's all on you.
No, man. No, man.
Is there age?
I
There's no
remember-
age, right? It's just...
I don't know. But it would be awesome if it's just like ADCC. It doesn't matter what your weight. It's like wrestling.
Yeah, you just show
Like,
like...
what is your weight? Okay, you're there. That's it.
Right.
We don't care how long you've been doing it, your skill level, your age.
Yeah,
which would
we don't
be
get, if
cool.
your name is Zach, you've got Vince in the first round.
Where, okay, I have nothing to lose. If I lose to Vince, I lost to Vince. Okay.
Yeah, that's one way to look
Okay.
at it.
No shame in that.
Like,
yeah.
this is, okay, Zach lost to Vince. Oh, okay. Well, but it's pressure. If almost anyone else, it's a lot of pressure. Like, there's expectation, but with Vince, no matter how I do, it's okay.
I'm just
Well-
thinking about this for these super fights. Special rules, no takedowns. And we put you in it. Did a takedown, it's -1.
What? We could do. It would be fun.
Not all the matches, just your match.
It would be fun though. That would be funny. Okay,
be
I'll do it.
amazing.
I'll do it. If we have a good commentator like you,
I will commentate.
and you make it entertaining, I'll do it.
I'll show up with a karaoke speaker.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah?
That would be
And,
hilarious. We could do it at Dragon.
Yeah, I'll commentate and then Vina house between rounds.
Let's do it, man.
It's for the spectators. It's not for us.
Whatever gets views, man. You know what I mean? But speaking of super fights, I'm pretty sure that I saw you respond to the message that you wanted to do a super fight.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. yes.
Oh, with the Robert Deagle story, right? Oh, no. I thought the question was phrased as in like, oh, do you want to see Robert Deagle do a super fight? So that's why I was like quick to reply yes.
Do you want to do a super fight? No. Robert Deagle's going to be the referee.
Yeah, he's going to be reffing. He won't be competing. But we are looking to you. If I can go
against a white belt, yes, I'll do it.
Well, I'm trying to think of who would be a good matchup for Q. I do
put
not
Vince
want
in a white belt and send him out.
I don't want to go with Q. I don't want to do that.
No,
I don't want to do that.
No.
But really, the super fights are for like white belts, blue belts, a mix of Vietnamese and foreigners. Ideally, Vietnamese who don't often get the spotlight.
Right.
The tournament's going to be free. Mm-hmm. I think the first one, we're going to do it at Arcane. Right, the very first one.
Nice.
They volunteered. They're like, hey, you just have it here, which is cool. Yep. You know, because they have the glass. I think it's really good.
And they have the thing up top. Maybe we can go.
I think it's really cool. Like you can get some really good camera angles there.
Yeah. And
then we can also do it at Dragon as well once it gets a little bigger. But maybe 6 or 8 matches.
Nice.
You know. But this is just like an idea that Rob and I came up with.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea because I think that's one thing that's missing as part of the growth in jiu-jitsu in Vietnam is the amount of competitions that we have. Like we just don't have enough. So I think the more spotlight that we can bring through those competitions, I think it's great. So obviously, you know, I'm super up for those competitions, but probably maybe not. You know,
not as a competitor. That's okay. We need people to come watch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what I am. You know, I'm a full-time cheerleader.
First time I came, my first real experience was at Team Shark. Almost a year ago, and it was you and Alex, just you and Alex.
Right.
And that would been just like day 2 for me.
Right.
And had some tough rolls, real tough rolls, over an hour, and then we had coffee after that. And I just remember thinking, man, the Saigon grappling community is so cool.
Yeah. I
really want to make this work. It was really cool, and then just to see it grow, and then you just see your involvement over the last year, especially with your brand and everything, and how it's brought us all a little closer together. Tell us a little bit about the Chief Great Taste Officer.
Are you the Chief of Great Taste?
I am the Chief.
He is the Chief.
Hey, when the Chief comes around, you better straighten up.
I came correct.
No, but like, I mean, the thing is, you know, I like to stay more in the background. You know, I don't like to kind of be in the spotlight, but, you know, obviously I like to put, you know, obviously others, you know, that deserve it in the spotlight a little bit more. But yes, the brand is called Chief Great Taste Officer. You know, basically what it implies is that, you know, we provide the highest level of taste in terms of fashion. It's obviously, you know, derived from the slang in America where we say, hey, like, you know, if you're dressed good, we say, hey, damn, you got good taste, you got great taste.
That's right.
So it derives from that. So basically what I'm trying to do is, you know, trying to bring that aesthetic vibe into jiu-jitsu and just, you know, making people look fly. I mean, that's my primary goal. Man. That's what I'm about. So, you know, basically you guys are responsible, like in terms of like, you know, your jiu-jitsu skills and obviously bringing that high level sort of skill set. And, you know, my job is to make you guys, you know, look fly. And hopefully when people come visit, you know, they see, hey, not only is the level high in Vietnam, but hey, like, damn, these people are looking fly while they're doing it. So that's been the main goal. Yeah,
absolutely.
It seems to be working because Zach's been winning some medals, and I know it's not his talent.
It's not. It's absolutely because of one thing, and I might as well bring it out now. Is this right? I got to say, when your company specially designed this, you know, that moment I felt I've made it as a grappler, you know, and a lot of people have asked, like, can I get this? You know, where can I buy this? And I do feel there's a certain feeling I get when I put when I put it on in competition, which is a good feeling. I think it was at Vivo City the first time I really noticed the brand. I saw all the Shark, the Shark CGTO rash guards, and I was like, man, like Shark is stepping their game up. You know, they're here. You know,
Nice.
and yeah, ever since then, I just saw like unity among the community in a different way.
And that was the main purpose, you know, kind of behind it as well. And, you know, that's kind of one of the ways why we targeted the gyms, the collaborations with the gyms first, you know, obviously because we thought that was the quickest way, you know, it's going to bring everybody together. So, you know, pretty happy, you know, how it's turned out. But obviously we got a lot more work to do, and very excited for what's ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what's ahead at all?
What's ahead is obviously, you know, we've obviously grown our base within Saigon, but I feel like, you know, the job's not done yet. You know, obviously we can do a little bit more in the city. And I've always believed, you know, before you take your brand global, you got to be known regionally. So that's, you know, obviously something that we've been focusing on for the past 8 months since our first product launch. So it hasn't even been a full year. Obviously, you know, trying to grow Saigon. And as we are growing Saigon, now we have very exciting international partnerships outside of Vietnam. You know, firsthand, you know, starting with Mint Hill in North Carolina, a gym, a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu gym in the U.S. So we've made our expansion into the U.S. We're now making expansions into Singapore, Korea, with like really prominent gyms as well. So very, very excited for that. And also at the same time, you know, we have our own stuff that's coming out. So our own 100% original designs that's coming out as well. And obviously we're trying to build an ecosystem around training. So not just, you know, rash guards, but like apparel, you know, accessories, anything that's related to training. Basically in the gym, you can wear our gear, you know, outside the gym, you can wear our lifestyle t-shirts, for example. During training, as you're training, you know, you have our water bottles. We have a lot of other products that are coming out as well on the accessory side. So very, very excited. And all of this is just to make everybody's lives a little bit easier when they're training. So that's the primary goal behind it. But also at the same time, look fly while you're doing it.
That's I think that's so cool.
I'm excited to see the stuff that you guys design, not the gym collaborations. But that's when we get to see what your brand is about. It's what you put to market.
Right.
I'm excited for the art.
And the intention was always there. It's just that the demand for the partnerships has grown like tremendously. Yeah. And you know, right now we just can't keep up with the with the production, with the orders that we get. So super obviously humbled and excited for that. But also at the same time, you know, there's a lot of people kind of waiting on our own designs. So yeah, that's definitely on the way.
Yeah, for sure. It's a designer jiu-jitsu brand.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And like the shirt that you're wearing is super cool. It's super cool.
Yeah. So this is a new shirt that's coming out, grappler t-shirt. Obviously, you know, we're not, you know, trying to focus so much just on our brand itself, but we're just trying to really focus on growing the community, growing the sport of jiu-jitsu and grappling itself. So that's the whole purpose of everything that we do. And, you know, this t-shirt is just, you know, for anybody, a grappling enthusiast, a jiu-jitsu enthusiast, you know, to be able to show people that, you know, this is what they do. And I am a grappler, and I am, you know, somebody that practices jiu-jitsu, and I'm proud of it. And so, you know, hopefully we can provide that vehicle for you know, the masses.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So, over the last 5 years, you've seen the growth of the community, and your contributions and Alex's contributions, Cory's contributions thus far. And we're still very new. This community is very new. And I think that's one of the things that's really special, because we can work with Arcane, and I'm going to go over to Shark. Yeah, Shark will help us out with this.
Right.
You know, it's super cool that we're all working together. What are some of the things that you see that can help further the community over the next 5 years?
Obviously, I think it's been great to see a new influx of new grapplers coming in post-pandemic. I think I would say once the pandemic, happened, I think maybe like about 50% of the people maybe left the country, and now we have a new set of 50% coming into the country. Kind of like yourself, Zach, and Adam. You guys kind of bringing that high-level jiu-jitsu, but also at the same time, you guys are new in a sense within the community. So I think that's been great to see. I think it's also great to see that, obviously with Robert Deagle being out here and bringing a lot of eyeballs into Jiu-Jitsu in Vietnam, I think now we'll have a lot more visitors coming to Vietnam to see what the scene is like here. So I think that will obviously be a helping hand in terms of growing the sport here. But kind of like what I alluded to a little bit before is in terms of, growing the amount of competitions, I think is going to be very important. Obviously, that's very complex and it's not easy to do out here right now at the moment. But I think with the awareness, I think people will start to realize the importance of it. So I think, obviously would love to hold more competitions, not myself, but like just in general. And then,
we have this idea for the super fights.
Right. Limited amount of matches, easy to organize.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about any of the registration or anything. It's just like, okay, we have 8 matches. We got to worry about 16 people being there on time.
Yep.
The whole thing only runs maybe 2 hours.
Yep.
Like around that. So a little bit easier. But one of the things you said about visitors here is the difference I've noticed in the 2 years I've been here is when I first arrived, people would come here for holiday or they'd happen to be in Saigon. They'd come train.
Right.
Additionally, now I've seen or met a few people who are coming here pretty much to train, and people who have gone back home and then returned here because they want to come train here.
Right.
And like when there's places in the world that do have many more high level guys, like the density of talent is higher elsewhere.
Right.
But people are still like, they still choose to come here.
That's
like,
true.
Why do you think that is? What makes Saigon special?
The openness is I think what people love, because they can go to this gym, they can go to that gym the very next day, but then there won't be any conflicts in terms of that. I think just being able to train with like expats and locals at the same time, and I think that's important. Obviously you hear certain scenes where they're a little bit segregated, they don't like to roll with one another, but I think just because of the combination that we have here, just and both expats and locals kind of being open to one another, I think that's also helps. And just the level in general, and especially within Nogi, people have been basically saying very, very good things about the level of jiu-jitsu here, and I think that kind of makes it maybe more attractive to them to come visit here. But also, I think one of the things that we can't necessarily overestimate is the distance between the gyms, because they're so close to one another. I think that kind of also is fun for the visitors. They don't have to go out 30 minutes, hour or hour and a half to travel to a new gym. So I think that's been all part of the process.
Yeah. I think it was really nice to hear that Rob said that the level here, he can really get, he's really one of the more prominent professional grapplers here in the country, and he chose this place to train. And he's got another ADCC to train for 2 years from now. He's got a lot of ADCC opens this year and next year, and this place is an ideal place for him to train.
Yeah.
And he I think he also talked about, just like you said, the willingness of the local Vietnamese to integrate and learn from the foreigners versus many other countries that he's been in. I think he's taught classes in 38 countries or something, 28 or 38 countries. And he said this was the place that he saw the best example of the locals and foreigners. So,
I agree. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful time for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. And it's a wonderful time in general. It's hot season.
Yep.
Hot and dry. Soon to be hot and wet. What did your week of training look like?
What's that?
Did you train this week at all?
So my weekly training, usually it's Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at Shark for the morning Nogi open mat sessions. I do that. And then Tuesdays or Thursdays, I'll do maybe 1 or 2 sessions at Over Under during the week, and then I'll do Team Shark open mat on Sundays. And that in itself is way too much. But also at the same time, I love it. Just, the fact that, while you're doing jiu-jitsu, you can take your mind off everything and you just focus on jiu-jitsu, you just focus on surviving, all of that. It's just been, I love it too much to not do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about you.
Yeah, this is great.
Awesome.
Hey, thank you so much for taking the time.
Man. Thank you.
To come here. You're a well-respected member of the community, so it's an honor to have you on our podcast.
Oh, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Appreciate
coming.
you guys.
Subscribe to the Saigon Saga to follow the amazing story of combat sports here in Vietnam.